great opportunity that we are learning on the greatness of a sick company. So we are looking at what causes sickness in a company. Areas that we are supposed to cover: introduction, cause of sickness, symptoms of sickness, predictions of sickness, reforms. What are we supposed to do to bring the sick company into health? Introduction, the state at which companies are performing poorly in the market. The sickness of a company leads to the acute financial embarrassment. The financial manager should have special interest in getting a forewarning of sickness. The financial manager again has a key responsibility in steering a sick company towards recovery. The sickness of the company can be caused by a particular unit in a company which is underperforming. The two ways of determining its solvency: one is stock-based. When the firm has negative net worth, that means you compare the current assets and current liabilities. Two, flow-based. When the operating cash of the firm are not sufficient to meet this obligation. Cash is very important for a company. Definition: it occurs when the company faces financial embarrassment arising out of its inability to honor obligation as and when they mature, and its viability is seriously threatened by adverse factors. According to Companies Act 2002, a sick company is one which has accumulated loss in any financial year equal to 50% or more of its average net worth during 4 years immediately preceding the financial year in question, or which has failed to pay its debts within any 3 consecutive quarters on demand for repayment by its creditors. The process which the impact. So we are looking at the cycle of sickness, and this is actually a process which is shown in the obvious way what follows in the sickness of a company. Now, when the firm is sick, we say it is insolvent. Now, insolvency creates an economical problem. So, economy gets sick. When the economy gets sick, the clear indicator is unemployment. And when the economy is sick, government gets sick. So, when the government is sick, this is a clear indication: loss of revenue. Why? Is because of insolvency of the company. No profits. At the same time, company employment is at its risk. When the government is sick, the nation is sick. And when the nation is sick, slow development. No development of roads, no development of schools, no development of public institutions, etc. So this is actually a cycle of sickness. Causes. What causes sickness? So the sickness of the company is caused by the following factors: unfavorable environment conditions, 2, managerial deficiencies. So these are the 2 causes of sickness of a company. Now we look at each and every one. We start with the unfavorable environment condition: shortage of key inputs. That's 1. 2, change in government policies. If government is changing the policies, development of new technologies. Remember, technologies again causes a problem, sickness in a company. Shift in consumer preference. The taste of the consumer changes. Of course, it will affect the performance of the company. Adverse international development. Reduced lending by financial institutions. So these are unfavorable conditions. Intensive competition. So when there is intensive competition. Finally, natural calamities like floods, earthquakes, etc. Or COVID-19, what we are facing now. Managerial deficiencies. When it comes to managerial deficiencies, we look at it from function-wise. Number 1 is production. What happened in production? Poor location. When you have poor location of your production, a problem. Poor technology, mismanagement, and economical plant size, poor maintenance, weak quality control. So these are production problems which causes managerial deficiencies, marketing, inaccurate demand projection, improper product mix. When you talk about product mix, we are talking about place, people, price, higher distribution cost. That's another problem. Inadequate sales promotion, poor customer service. These are the marketing problems. Finance causes sickness. Why? Is because poor capital structure. If your structure is not well structured, bad investment decisions, absence of responsibility accounts, no transparency, weak budgetary control, no control, bad cash planning and control, improper tax planning, poor management information system. Remember, information is power. Personnel, poor leadership. Remember, leaders are the one inspiring and influencing people. If now leaders are not inspiring, what happened? Management is at problem. Bad labor relation, inadequate human resource, and finally, irrational compensation structure. If the rewards are not good, what happens? People are not excited. People are not motivated. Research. A study conducted by Reserve Bank of India shows the following outcome on the sickness of the company. 1. Causes, numbers and percentage. So we have management deficiency, a number of 197 talked about mismanagement, which is 52%. Number 2, fault in initial planning, which was 52 in number, 14%. Labor trouble, 9, which was 2%. Market recession, 86 in number, 23%. Other infrastructure, 34, 90%. So the sample size was 378, and out of the 378, then it was concluded that from the observation, it was determined that the key factor that determines sickness of the company is management, mismanagement, and managerial deficiency. So sickness of a company is caused by mismanagement. Sickness does not occur overnight, but develop gradually over time. Remember, when you get sick, there are signs that are very clear. A company which is becoming sick exhibits simple symptoms which indicates that trouble lies ahead of it. The following are signs which are very common. 1. Delay or default in suppliers' payment, late payment, irregularity in bank account, irregularities, delay or default in payment to financial institution. You have loans, you take loan, frequent requests to financial institution. 4. Additional credit, decline in capacity utilization, low turnover of assets. You are not increasing your assets, accumulation of inventories. You are not making sales, so your stock is accumulating, excessive turnover of personnel, and finally extension of accounting period. Then creative account. What do you mean by creative account? It's an activity whereby you manipulate the account of the business, decline in price of equity and debentures. So these are symptoms which are clear. So if you see these symptoms, your company is getting sick. Prediction. The company sickness can be predicted using the financial ratio analysis, which gives a greater reliability. There are two types of analysis. One, univariate. Under this analysis, we only focus on one financial ratio. If it is current ratio, if it is liquidity ratio, if it is capital employed ratio, we just focus on one financial ratio. So how to predict the sickness of the company or the health of the company? Use financial ratio analysis. But number one analysis is called univariate. Use only one or single ratio. Number two is called multivariate analysis. Now this is another analysis. Use different ratio analysis to actually identify the sickness of the company or the health of the company. So we'll talk later about the univariate and multivariate analysis. Prediction. Reforms. What are you supposed to do to bring the sick company into health? Critical action which must be taken to bring back the sick company. Number one, when the unit is sick, viability study must be carried out to establish the whether they can be revived within a given period of time or not. So do viability study, then establish, can it be recovered or not? If viable, then suitable plan for rehabilitation must be formulated. Now formulate a program of a comeback. If the viability indicates that the company is better dead than alive, then steps must be taken to liquidate it expeditiously, immediately. Reforms. The revival programs involve the following. 1. Settlement with creditors. Settle the accounts of creditors. Number 2. Provision of additional capital. You can increase capital if it is a revival program. De-invest and disposal. Their assets and their assets or properties which must be disposed so that you can get money to do the necessary reforms. Reformulation of product market strategy. Realign. Modernization of plant and machinery. Get new modern machines and plants. Manpower restructuring. You either decrease or increase the manpower. Strict control over cost. Reduce your cost. Streamlining the operation. Improve in managerial system. Now, when you talk about managerial system, we are looking at it from production, personnel, marketing, and finance. These are systems which must be improved. Workers' participation. Make sure that the workers are involved in the running of your company so that what idea they are contributing can help in running the organization. Change of management. Management can be changed. Get new management and the reform will take place. Debt restructuring. Restructure the debts of the company. So these are the reforms that you can carry out. Thank you so much. From sickness to health company.